This is Random Urban Memories, brought to you by The Rum Boys. You've seen, heard, or felt it on the streets. Well, we're here to talk about it.
In 3, 2, 1.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us yet again on another audio adventure. And we've got a full house today, officially. Not an intro session, not a hello, not a welcome. It's, what's up? You're here, Kat.
Yeah,
you're
Kat's
in
here.
full-on in an episode.
I'm in an episode with you guys. I'm so excited.
Good.
Class.
Yeah, we'll do a quick round of how everyone is doing. All good on this fresh September Sunday.
It's getting cold.
It is getting cold.
It is a bit.
The winter is coming.
And with these storms, which, you know, climate change is fake and all that kind of stuff, I forgot to tell you,
Hang on, what?
I know. I basically nearly got killed by a roof tile.
What?
Yeah, forgot to show you in the garden. I was going to go and bring my bins from the front to the back.
Yep.
So that they don't blow into my neighbour's car. And just as I was about to go out, I think I was checking my phone or something like that, I heard a big bang outside and a roof tile from the neighbouring house came down. And I'm not a case of a person of like, you know, oh, what if? But fact is, I would have been there or in and around there. And I was like, that's how people get killed in storms. Dumb shit like that. You know what I mean? There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
So
like the Moycullen Road was completely like it was blocked completely from fallen trees and all of that stuff. So
I saw that there's some big trees getting ripped out here in Redland around the corner as well.
Oh yeah, even I was up in Merview on Thursday evening. Like there was on the road up to the church there was like 3 trees down. I don't know how the hell. I don't know how bad it was up there, but it was 3 of them.
That's pretty messed up. So, and any quick news from you guys?
Quick news. Nothing major. I sang last weekend at my friend's wedding.
Yeah.
That was about it.
Oh, what? Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
And it was a same-sex couple's wedding, if you want to say it like that.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Absolutely great fun. So that was my last weekend. I didn't do anything
good
exciting.
Good stuff.
And then I went out clubbing last night like a child going out Saturday night in Galway.
where have you been?
I went gay clubbing. I went to Nova with my friend Fiona. We had a great night hanging out with Kiki the drag queen. Had a great time.
Did you guys sing Kiki, Do You Love Me?
No, we were like, let's have a Kiki. So that was that's my
cool
thing, yeah. So I'll pass it over to David now.
We finished. We had the last thesis presentations on Friday. So basically, it was running in Limerick between 10 till 2. It was like 50 minutes presentation, 10 minutes presentation, 5 minutes for questions, and now we are just waiting for results. So they should be up like tomorrow and Wednesday
crossed.
Official. So fingers crossed that it's like completely done, because it has been a long year.
How many years have you been doing this?
So it was 2 years, but basically you do the second year you do up until now. So we have started last year a week ago with the thesis stuff and all of, like basically like the full year, and then you finish at the end of September. So you're like the whole year you are just, so it's not like
just
usually
hardcore,
you end up
yeah.
in May, which is by May you only start to put like all of the hard work into it. So I was like happy that it's over now.
Nice one.
Yeah. So hopefully, well, thanks.
But congratulations
I'm just
on the actual 2 years of putting your blood, sweat, and
you
tears
put a lot of
into it.
I'm just waiting for the in Slovakia, it's like until you have a paper, nothing is finished. So it's like when I'll have the parchment, then I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm finished now. So and like I think like for next few months, it will be still kind of like, oh, like it's Saturday, I need to do something. Like I cannot do this. It's just but it was a great night. Also, I've been drinking a lot. And Friday, nobody believed me that because I usually get, if I start to drink vodka, I get a bit not aggressive, but like. Not even fighty, but it's a weird kind of like, oh yeah, like
testosterone field.
If that guy would start something, it wouldn't be a problem to handle him. That's what vodka does to Eastern Europeans.
Eastern European. I was just gonna say
and
that.
then
I was just gonna say that.
Somehow, and they're like, and I told them, I'm like, oh yeah, and then I drink, and they're like, so how do you sober out? I'm like, I just drink whiskey. They're like, you drink whiskey? And they thought that I'm joking, that I'll be completely trashed by the time I drink whiskey. I had whiskey, and I sobered out. I was just tired. It's boring. I'm going to Rome, guys. It's like first class. It was a good night.
That's good. That's good. What about you, Shane? Tell us about your escapades.
Nothing much, actually. Yeah, just doing background stuff here. Hanging out, chilling out. That's actually really boring. That's all I do.
Watching the try it out,
and
guys.
by the way, I just
trying it out.
I just wanted to. If you're convict, homeless, or a bum, you know, try it out.
You gotta try it out.
I just there now when you said fingers crossed, and instead of actually putting my index and middle finger together or crossing them, I basically put my thumb in my fist. I don't know why I did that.
See, Eastern
You
European.
were like, yeah, cross. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
So, yeah, but that's for when I would drink with some of the old school Eastern blockheads, man. Oh man, it's
you've had plenty of stories
from
them kind of guys, yeah.
But yeah, it'll reach a vodka level where the conversation does simply turn to like, you know, hey, when you and me we will fight, I will kill you. But you're my friend. Didn't even know fighting was an issue right now, you know.
And then, no, get me an orange juice for the vodka, so I don't feel it.
Exactly, yeah.
It's like everybody drinks like vodka with orange juice, like in Eastern Europe, like it's like a thing.
Yeah,
it's like I had to drink vodka and orange juice.
Well, now that we're actually onto the subject of people visiting the country, I was, I was thinking about foreigners in general and kind of half being
and how they take our women and
our jobs and women. Yeah. Oh my God. I trawled through a bit of census data, and there's a lot to be kind of dug out from from what came out of the census.
Yeah.
And even now, the census data is from 2016, and it seems kind of oldish now because so much has happened so quickly as well. But like, if the breakup of the migrants here is, it's 122,000 Polish, UK is 103,000. Third place Lithuanian, fourth place Romanian, then Latvian, Brazilian, Spanish, Italian, French, and the least one is German now. I was quite surprised.
It's like the winners of the Eurovision there that you just did.
Yeah. all the Balkans and like Baltics are actually voting for each other.
So yeah, very very interesting, and I have a feeling that every German that I do know works for either of our companies. Pretty much, actually. Yeah. So the age profiles as well are kind of like the Polish are at 30 to 44-year-olds, 54%, and the UK nationals tend to be older, and they tend to be more homeowners, as in retired UK nationals. They actually own and buy homes, whereas everybody else is renting, that kind of thing. So kind of that gave me that kind of just wanted to have a look in. What does that actually mean? Where do we have where are these people coming from?
Yep.
And the diversity and ethnicity of these people, and again this whole thing about, like, you know, jobs and women.
Yeah.
I think since time immemorial, it's the idea of them and us, and you invade my territory, whether it's through legal way or illegal way. It's always going to be like, oh, you're taking our jobs and women. But no matter where you go, I don't see any or much of the nationals lining up to clean toilets or hotel rooms or nightclubs at 5 a.m. You know what I mean? This kind of thing. Us coming out of the industry, we can attest to that, you know. So yeah, but I think this is a repeat in every country that you go to. It's always like, oh, they're taking our money. But I read another report as well that migrants to the UK, for example, pay on average 2,300 or so per head more into taxes. So it's like, oh, they're sitting on their bums and doing nothing, you know. And you're like, no, it's a very small percentage.
Yeah, like Niall Boylan was talking about it on his show, where, because like he opened that topic and people are calling in and they're like, yeah, but like, you know, like they're taking advantage of the whole social welfare system and all of this. It's like, you don't see that many people on social welfare who are foreigners, you know, like they are trying to work as much as they can because like they need to provide for their families also.
I was just going to say, like, even if they do provide for people at home, it's much more benefit to earn that money.
There is a good percentage of foreign nationals on the social welfare that are well able to soak it as best they can so they don't have to work, so that they're getting these benefits. What's happening now since I went to the job that I'm currently in, 2 guys came in, got their PPS number, worked in the hotel for a little while, got everything set up here in Ireland in terms of a bank account, PPS number, the whole lot, and they left. And they're both now working in Medtronic. So they're doing it to kind of get into the country to try and get themselves better jobs as well. Do you know what I mean? But they know the system better than we do. There's so many things out there that you can actually apply for.
They are, but the thing is, they ask. Like, I know this from like I know this from Polish that I know, and like the first thing that you notice is that they actually go and ask. So they go to citizens information and they ask those people.
They're ready with their folders.
They are going to give you all of that information. Yeah. So it's like, I think that a lot of times, like, people either don't ask or they do take money if they're, let's say, like nationals, but they don't talk about it. So they don't go to each other and say, like, for example, Slovaks would never do the same. So like, if you would be Slovak on social welfare and trying to take as much money as possible, you wouldn't go to somebody else and start to say, okay, well, hey, you have to, you can apply for this, you can apply for this, you can apply for this. I don't think that's also the case with Irish. You know, like, you don't see.
True. That's true.
You know,
Like, they don't run at each other and go, hey, do you know how much I'm robbing, basically? Or whatever.
It's like when you see like young moms with all of these kids. So like, I don't know, in our state you have like 4 little kids, and those women are not working. They're like stay-at-home moms. Like, your partner has to be making like at least 5 to 6 grand to be able to provide for the whole family. And I don't think that's the case.
Oh,
so like
not.
They must be getting the money from somewhere also, right? So like social, like there's no way how to be able to be going for, like, you see people going on holidays and all of this. I'm not giving out about it, but I still think that there is something that people are not kind of like sharing, which can be done. But like, when you call citizens information give you all of the information. It's not social welfare who gives you the information. When you go there and you get some mad person like who has been there working and all of this, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm not going like, yeah, you can apply for this, you can get the
online
form. They're not actually going to tell you, it's like, hey, you can apply for this and this. If you go to citizen information and you ask, it's like, what else is there? They have to give you that information. They are obliged to give it to you, you know? So I think it's also that factor that, like, people usually say, it's like, oh yeah, they are asking for, they are getting the money, but they also ask and they share the information with the others.
So what are you saying about the people at work in the social welfare, that they don't want to give the information? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, people who are getting who have the information that they can. So let's say I would be on social welfare, and you would just get on social welfare, or something would happen, or you would say, I don't know, like, I am unable to make sure that I have enough money for the rent or whatever. There are tools that will help you from social welfare to go over it, but people don't actually ask. What, let's say, Polish community does, for example, like, they will tell you, it's like, hey, you have this situation, you should actually go and fill out this form and go and get the money, right? Because technically, if you have the right for it, unfortunately, you have the right for it, right? So it's not because a lot of times people just say, it's like, oh, well, they make it sound like you are stealing money from somebody or something that you are not entitled to. Those are two different things.
You bring up the point that I was actually just going to say. You've got a very good point. The thing is, it's a failure of checks from the state.
Absolutely.
It's the same. It's not the same. It's the failure, for example, of these developers that defaulted on everything and are now allowed to build all the projects in Galway, or Ireland for that matter. We literally gave the state money, or the banks, whatever, and then one thing led to the next, and they're all now allowed, they're all getting their contracts to rebuild. The point is, and the same thing about, like, how the government or the banks were not accountable for the financial crash in any shape or form, in any way, but it's allowed. It was allowed. What they were doing was within the law. Yeah? So we can protest against it, of course, and we should. But this, like you said, the entitlements, it's there. It's allowed. And if you're smart enough to use it to your advantage, again, it's not steal. It might be immoral.
Well, if you're,
but it's not, the system I don't think is set out. On the first hand now, I have to say, it is great that should I lose my job tomorrow, and my wife too, or whatever, I know that I have a little bit of cash, like, not to keep up the luxuries or whatever that I want, but I won't, or hopefully won't starve. You get what I'm saying? So if exactly. I get €180 a week, at least I can spend that on food and live, I don't know, with my parents or something.
The thing is,
it's great that that's there.
Those people also have the right for it. So, like, you wouldn't get the money if you wouldn't be applying for it. You wouldn't be assessed, and you wouldn't have the right for it. So, it's very hard discussion to say, okay, well, it's like it's this group of people, or like let's say we would say, oh, it's Polish people. Like, if they share the information, good for them, and if those people are entitled, then also good for them. You know, but like, let's not. I think that we cannot kind of like differentiate also just by saying it's like, okay, well, it's these people or this specific group, you know. And like, as I said, I mean, do we have numbers on like how many Irish people get it? And it's, you know, that's
something I didn't I did a breakdown I didn't check actually. Now it's an interesting point, you know. But again, it's, if it's there and it's not illegal, what can you do? There's nothing you can do unless you increase the checks.
Look at politicians. Like, how much money do they steal? How much money do they steal? And nobody goes. So people will rather go into Dublin and protest against like people trying to get money out of social welfare rather than go in and protesting the politicians who are fucking the system completely. You know. So this is the problem. Like, we try to go against like, oh, like that guy who is like trying to get money from social welfare, who goes there in the track bands to the social welfare office and get the dole, instead of going against the guy who is getting like 1,000 times more, but is in a suit.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, but then for the likes of us that are working in fully paid jobs, that sometimes there is occasions where you might need something, I might need something, you might need something, and we're not entitled to it because we're in, you know, the jobs that we're in, and you know, the one time that you would go and ask the state for a bit of help, you ain't getting it. There's no way you're going to get it.
Yeah, that's true.
So then you have the guys coming in that are on lower wage, basic pay, and they'll get their X's and O's, you know, and they do and all like that. Plus they get their benefit rent, they get the doctors, they get the medical card, they get loads of stuff. Like, so I find that hard. I find that difficult to kind of take on at times because sometimes, like, I'm working, you're working, we're all paying our taxes.
That's,
you know,
funny.
I find that really difficult.
When my wife was pregnant with my daughter, we actually popped into the Citizens Information Office because we didn't know anything about it, you know. And we popped in and we said, "Look, is there anything that we can get?" And the woman looked at me and I said, "No, excuse me, that came out wrong. I paid my my taxes for years. I'm just wondering, is there any benefits of having paid in those taxes that can now be returned by having child apart from child benefit, which is state mandated anyway." And then she goes, "Are you working?" "Yeah, okay, salary." "You, wife, what are you working?" "Salary." And she goes, "No." You get nothing. And I was like, but even taxes that I didn't understand at the time, like it's what there wasn't or what there is. I was like, no, I'm not talking about from the state. What can come back to me for this, for paying those? Like, no, you get nothing. Like, you just.
But you can get some tax credits on it.
No,
like when you go through Pig 60. No.
For the marriage, yes. Sure. For the marriage, yes. And that brings me back to the social welfare office kind of thing. I did pop in there because we hadn't split our taxes, all right? And what I wanted to have was some information. Yes, the information is online. I know that. But I just needed some clarification as to at which earning points does it make sense to split your taxes to a certain way. You know, if my wife was on, for example, 70,000 a year and going right up into the higher tax bracket, it'll make sense.
Who should
if
be
I
going
was on who gets more and who will pay more tax, whatever. I just wanted a little bit of clarification because we'd be in and around the same ish. What's better? What's not? What not to do? We popped in and there's two teenage looking kids, basically. I don't know, they could be 22 for all I know, but they just looked like transition year students or something like that on work experience. And then we stood in the queue and wondering why it was so empty, and there was a woman on one of the automated phones, and I said, and they're like, can we help you? And I was like, yeah, I just would like some clarification on the splitting of taxes. And she goes, oh, we have a form for you. And he handed it to me, and I said, oh, that's nice. I also have that form on me now. They're like, oh, okay, all the information is online. I was like, I know that. I just needed some extra clarification. Maybe I'm thick. I didn't quite understand the spreading of taxes. So I went away from the side desk, and I walked and stood in the queue with my wife then. And I just stood there, and then he turned around and he goes, can we help you with anything else? And I was like, yeah, well, we'd like to talk to someone about the P60. The P60 is the Irish end of year tax declaration, where from which you can work to see if anything is due to you in terms of taxes or credits or anything like that. And he turns around and he goes, oh, we have the forms online. I was like, I get you, motherfucker. I would like to talk to somebody about
just give
what
me the
hasn't been
information
done.
that I need.
And they're like, and I was like, so that's why we're in the queue. And he goes, there's no one here. And I was like, it's 11 a.m., man. Why is there no one here? So yeah, that's to the point. I can attest to that. That's not where you get the information. That's citizen advice is where they advise you on the information, and the offices where you get the forms or hand them in. So yeah, that was the experience. Like, it's all online. I was like, I'm all for online, but I just need clarification on this. And then I rang them, the regional tax office. I said, look, can I talk to you for maybe? They're like, no, just you can scan your form, hand it in, and put it up on your tax online. And I was like,
pay away.
All right, but can I ask you about it? No, we don't provide that kind of service. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna call Mary from something Budapest Dental.
Budapest Dental.
She would she would help me.
Actually,
she would come to my house and fill it out with me in Budapest.
And then she'd actually go with you.
And I'd get tax back from Budapest.
You can have
like a
eat goulash and
like a dirty
you were filling
immigrant.
out form.
Yeah, and then I would take their jobs and women too. And sit in their tax office and complain. So,
but with the P60, like, it's usually the finance department that can help in the company. They usually
they know
help
what
much more because they know, like, they have been probably filling it for themselves also, so they know much more than revenue in some cases. But it's obviously, is there anything else that it's kind of like stood out of the data?
Do you know? Well, there was a lot of data as well, like the World Meeting of Families, for example. It turns out that 151 or 2,000 in the end only attended the thing, man.
Big
change.
Yeah,
it's the landscape is changing.
But
now
it's for Pope. That's for Pope.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Say no to the Pope. And and I was looking at how interesting it is that the more urbanized, and this is a worldwide phenomenon, and I think it just comes with education and whatever it may be, that the more urbanized the area is, the less religiousness you have in it. Highest percentage here, for example, tends to be more rural areas, but if you go into the cities themselves, and it drops right down.
Really?
Yeah, but it's just more a case of like you're and busy more with your surroundings, and you're with school and technology. You're more exposed to technology, that kind of thing. And as soon as you bring in those elements, education, technology, advancement, being the hub of communication, that kind of, and many factors here. Now, I'm just, of course, I'm not going to go in depth into it because I don't fully understand it myself, and I still want to read more about it. But this is a global trend, you know, like urban areas didn't vote for Brexit because they understand globalism, that kind of thing. And the same goes for, like, you're less likely to meet super religious people in the city than in the countryside. So yeah, that's what I found.
Was there anything on businesses or anything like that in terms of like how many startups were there? Like, so actually, did they compare?
Funny you should mention it. Yeah,
is there something compared to previous years, or like which kind of like say, okay, well, this is like way too high, and
if you go to the census website. Yeah, the census. It's all online.
It's all online. I'm like, is he doing this on purpose or what the fuck? It's like, you gotta be kidding me.
But
you have to do it in the accent and get the farm and send it back.
No, we don't provide that kind of service here. Now you'll have to go.
And what's your name?
What's
your name? Mary.
They so honest, they have a really nice infographics and all that kind of stuff, and they do have comparisons with previous years and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So very well laid out, very easy to read. Yeah, and they did have business. They have a whole section on business, economy, and all that kind of thing. I just went people and diversity and that kind of thing, and that's where I found it. And I have
It's
to
a
say,
really interesting
it's
read,
a
the
very-
census. It's
very,
a very interesting
I didn't
read.
think it would be as interesting.
Yeah.
I wanted one
yeah.
piece of information, and I just started trawling. I was like, oh, I didn't know that.
I suppose
didn't know that.
from my point of view on the census, where I've kind of got into my shows like Who Do You Think You Are and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I decided to have a look back at my family's census, and the registration and how it all started. So I'm not 100% sure. It must have been the first census came out after it must have been 19. I don't know, 18. I don't know. Maybe after the whole thing there. And it's really interesting to see the different levels of like labour workers to people that worked in the government, to, so it's very interesting in how it's all changed over the years in terms of how we work in this country, our transport, compared to there was nothing back then. It was basically just you were marked down as the person in the house that night, while now you have so much information on loads of different things, which is great now to look up, it really is.
I remember in Slovakia, it was the last one that when I was in Slovakia was that a small percentage of people mark themselves as Inuits. So we had a small percentage of that. I'm like, what the fuck? We don't have Eskimos in Slovakia. Come on.
When was the last time you did the census in Slovakia?
It was 2004 or 2006. And it wasn't anything crazy. But they were just we just about it. We just have Inuits in there. Come on, guys. And all of these Pastafarians, that was a big thing at that point, So
see, they're actually changing now. They're taking submissions to change the religion question, because when I filled out the census, they had a small change to it where you can mark yourself as non-religious, and you had 460,000 on them.
Yeah.
But it was it was set up in a bizarre way. I don't have it in my head as it was, but it assumed, and the way it was worded was that rather than are you a practicing religious person. Yeah, that's the key point. That's interesting.
I actually pulled my census form back. I asked for my census form back, and not that I made a massive deal about it, but for in terms of my situation and other people like me, not to go into deeply into it, there's the question there of where were you born, and I put down unknown on mine.
Okay.
So they came back to me twice actually, and I said because of you mentioned the World Meeting of Families and the Pope and all that. I had said because I'm an adopted person, and under the legislation of the Children's Act, I said I'm entitled to know where I was born because I'm an adopted person. So the lady was like, "Are you sure you want to break this down?" I went, "Absolutely, 100%."
Why would it not? Yeah.
And the thing is as well, you mentioned Niall Boylan actually earlier. He did the same thing, and he had a show about it, and he wanted everybody that as much publicity as possible, that people who are adopted in this country that are not allowed to have and their true information, you put it on the census form.
That's exactly. It needs to be an accurate representation of what's going on in the country.
If you get a chance to look through that, you'll see a bit of an increase in percentage of actually people like me writing that down on the census.
That's exactly it. Otherwise, it skews the statistics. Because as we were filling it out, whatever way the wording was, it's what religion do you identify with, or something like that. That just assumes. And then my wife was going to put down Catholic. I said, listen, you don't practice, you don't believe or anything like that. That makes you non-religious. Yeah.
It's what your parents chose.
Exactly. Yeah, just because you were baptized.
Absolutely.
On paper, it puts you down as Catholic, but you are not a practicing Muslim, Catholic, Orthodox, whatever it is. And that's why. But even with that, there was a time to take no campaign trying to expose these things of, guys, careful what you write down. We need to show the proper statistics, and I can guarantee you that the next census, because they're rewording some of the questions, 100% there's going to be a huge upswing in non-religious. It's already massive. You know,
I
but it's the wording.
Exactly. In terms of wording, I wonder will they actually incorporate, what you're identifying as male, female, transgender. I wonder will that will be put into the census now as well.
I think that they will have to do it. They will have to do it. They started
I haven't read anything about it. Actually, I wonder. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to kind of
unfold. When is the next census?
2020. Yeah.
By 2020.
It's only 2 years. It'll be there.
It will be there.
But very interesting. I don't know. It surprised me how much the data fascinated me.
Yeah.
Even random stuff like, I don't know, how many people commute to work. And I was like, oh, okay.
It's crazy because I worked in Corb Village at the time when the census happened. So we had to hand the census forms out to all the students. And trying to get students
to fill them
out is just... they're like, we don't want to do this.
That's like mothering them. Yeah. This is your state obligation, you idiot. Why should I be?
So 6 different census officers, around trying to get people to fill out the census forms.
So yeah, that's and then the whole thing about the foreigner thing and them versus us, and the whole far right alt movement seemingly being on the up and up and all that kind of stuff, and everything is magnified now. We talked about it in the in the last video. We didn't bring it out in audio, only in video on YouTube. Go check it out. We had talked about it's all these events are magnified. So when you do have a unfortunate murder, it's blown humongous, and you have all these things, even though they would have happened in the background anyway, or various things. And that got me thinking about the whole us versus them, or tribal mentality. And you know what's really funny? It's the way it's if you think of it in a happy-go-lucky kind of way, it's like, oh, let's find things that connect us, right? And find, but we are culturally different. We are from different places. We have different customs. We have different history. We have different views. We have different political ideas, or even if we have the same political ideas, we have substructures within those ideas. Yeah. So that's one thing, right? But also hating on the same thing. Let's pick a common enemy can bring people together, but not in a very efficient way. What should be happening is people should come together and see what similar struggles they have. And that unites people in a really good way.
Yeah.
Food, housing, clothing, family, personal issues, mental health.
Day-to-day life.
Everybody suffers from those things.
Everyday life.
Like if I don't like immigrants coming in or whatever, then you just they're bringing their shit over here. No. Maybe they have the exact same problems as you. They can't get certain social welfare things, just like you.
Yeah.
So that's something that should be connecting. I think that's way more. The struggle is real, and the struggle is something that can unite and connect us. We all...
Yeah, I've noticed this. Like when I moved over to Ireland and I started to work full time, I've noticed because before I didn't have that much contact with Irish, and then suddenly you are working with majority of Irish people, right? And I'm like, it was even wondering when I was talking to my parents, I'm like, it's there's not that much difference. I mean, yes, culture, it will be always there, different cultures, but it's the same shit that people are going through. It's what do I have to buy for kids for Christmas? Oh shit, will I have money? Oh, now insurance for a car is coming up. They have the same. Well, the difference there is if you take EU driving license, you will pay more than Irish. That's one thing that I had to say, but it's always the same stuff. That it's people are going through the same stuff as all of us, right? So it's it's just different setting, different culture, different way how you perceive it, but you are dealing with the same stuff.
Isn't it amazing?
It's people chat down, they have coffee and they gossip about Mary in finance or something like that. It's
what are you saying about Mary in finance?
I don't know.
Give me the info I wanted.
Oh yeah. Have you seen her at Christmas party? Oh my god. It's the same stuff.
It's amazing. But from the smallest local level, as in you and your neighbor, you both have the same struggles for rent, mortgage, whatever it may be, and then put it into your area or your district. Maybe there's the bus routes aren't being aren't serving you right, or the school, or whatever it is, or the local politicians, then put it up on a county level. Your county might be neglected and you're all suffering from it. Put it on a national level. You're being mistreated by, I don't know, by the EU or financing or whatever it is. Then go on do you get what I'm saying? From the smallest to the biggest. I know this sounds like ideological hippie shit, but the thought behind is correct.
Sounds like Soros.
Yeah, but but that's the whole idea. And in the end, the bigger you go, it's resources, energy, climate change, wars. We all, like, it's the struggles that actually unite us. Fuck the similarities or the differences. Those are bonuses that should or could be utilized as best as possible. Yeah. But in the end, man, we're all human beings. And that I don't know, I just had that philosophizing thought in the background.
You were thinking about this last paragraph for a lot.
Yes.
That's like, you didn't start it there. He didn't start it there. No,
of
course. Listen, I've been formulating this in my head because I've been really thinking about it, and it's true. Like, it was just, I don't know, after seeing the data, I was like, good God, man, they're talking about the same shit that I'm going through. Yeah? I don't care where you're from.
It's crazy.
So
pull up more of that. Go there. It's a good conversation. Let's just check something that's really
obscure. Let's check something really obscure in it.
How many horses are in Ireland?
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure that people have to take a box and like, how many sheep and horses do you own? Is it?
Maybe.
Is it insulting? Sorry, no, joke. No.
So here's the... All right, we're just having a look at the website now. And here's the statistics. You can have a look at the databases that a lot of this information also was pulled from, be it financial or EU level, that kind of thing. And here, business sectors, digital economy, industry, tourism and travel, balance of payments, environment, for example, people, education, births, deaths and marriages.
Do people. Or marriages.
Population. Marriages.
Do marriages.
Okay. Marriages and civil partnerships.
How many divorces were there?
Do you know how difficult it is to get a divorce in Ireland?
It's 4 years to get divorced.
This is bullshit.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, church, yet again.
I know that it was like not allowed for like up until 90s or so.
Yeah, there was a huge...
Oh,
I
listen,
actually, do you know, it was my first ever referendum that I voted in.
Yeah.
And it was the divorce referendum.
You had a divorce referendum.
Yeah.
Yeah, the church opposed it for years. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, the church fucked this country proper.
Oh my God.
No joke, man.
We're just really emerging from the closed, massive iron door on this country. It's just the cracks open and the doors starting to open out a bit. Like, going back to the abortion referendum, so that was the church as well. That back in the early 80s, they had the last referendum before the abortion thing, and in the marriage referendum. So there's huge change in this country.
It's coming. It's the foot in the door, and the crack is happening, and you see it.
It really is.
Here.
It needs to be changed.
So to go back to your question. So you file for divorce, but you have to prove that you're separated, and you have to live separated for 4 years. I think it's a measure to put in place. You know, the way the divorce is not officially sanctioned by the Vatican. So basically, it's to probably give you a chance to reconsider. Even though your husband might be, or your wife,
they have a second family already.
They don't give a shit about that. You might get back together for the sake of the family or something like that. 4 years. And then after that, the process is endless.
4 years.
Yeah, imagine crazy. That. Before you're officially divorced, rather than going in and saying no. You know,
like in Slovakia, it takes like 15 minutes.
That's what I was going to say.
You go to
irreconcilable
the court,
differences or whatever, and
drive through divorces.
You fill in a form that it's actually online. Also,
and you don't get the information that you need either for it.
Yeah. That's crazy. But this is the strange thing, because like during communism, like everybody's saying it's like, oh, how communism was better or whatever, but people could get divorced without any problems, and like we still had like a high, like very big church influence in Slovakia, or
but
like
you weren't
Eastern
ruled
Europe.
by the Catholic Church like we were here.
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But every
I don't know how it was in Poland, because Poland was like much more
they're still
Catholic.
hardcore. Yeah, but Poland is now after making the church itself. So they're very unusual ruling, actually, even because they're very hardcore church. Very, in some aspects, more so than Ireland. But I think a court ruled that not only were paedophile cases, and they didn't just rule the responsible bishops or priests, they actually made the church culpable as a perpetrator.
Bystander.
Yeah, it made them responsible in a legal suit. So that's very interesting.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but that's another episode I think that we're going to go on. We're
100%.
going to go into the influence of the church, because it's very deep, it's very interesting, and it's very horrific, but it's also more and more people are learning about it, one scandal after the next. That's something we should
It's unbelievable.
talk about.
If you're getting a chance to, TG Cahar are doing a lot of documentaries about this kind of stuff at the moment, which is
one after the next now.
and it's very
It's
good.
just-
So
yeah.
if you're looking for stuff for the next podcast, that'd be good to watch that. Also.
So guys, I'm after putting up marriages here, and we actually have figures for 2017 off the census. So we had opposite sex marriages 21,570 in 2016 and 21,262 in 2017 last year. No, that's a decrease. But what's interesting is was that the year the same-sex marriage referendum was, 2016?
I was just going to say
So it was 1,056 same-sex marriages in 2016, but only 759 in 2017. And the second I saw that there, I had to
urge
think...
all my same lovers to be putting their work into marriages, because this is dropping.
This is, come on,
Right,
guys.
this is
Keep
like,
those
what's
stats
going
up.
on?
Those are rookie numbers, man. But you know what? I had to laugh because I remember the opponents that I knew of the same-sex referendum was this idea that there would just be gayness spilling out onto the streets because they're getting married now, and it's, this is an abomination and all that kind of stuff. As you can see, yes, there is jubilation. A lot of people got married. But now in the end, it's a very, very low number. So I don't...
I'm quite surprised at that, actually.
Yeah, I'm a little bit,
Very surprised at that.
So I'm...
Look at the numbers there. So the average age of groom, like 35, 36, you would like the bride, that's quite high actually, right? So like 30, 34, 33, which is, I would like to see, like, what is the difference throughout Europe? Like, how did it change? Because like before,
I tell you,
like girls were getting married like 18, 19. Now it's like, it's 34. Like you would expect it, but you wouldn't expect that high, like such a high numbers. And when you look at same-sex marriages, it's like 40, 41.
wow,
40,
that's
41.
incredible. And that's
I would
only the
like to know, like,
average.
what is the like impact? Like, why do people get married so late? Like, it's so weird, no? Like, there's like 5-year difference.
But you'll probably see that leveling out just a little bit in the next coming. Maybe 10 years. It'd have to be 10 years for the statistics.
Oh,
because
right.
They couldn't
Because
get
they
married
couldn't
for
get
years
married.
and years and years.
All right.
And maybe younger gay couples mightn't be willing to jump into a marriage just willy nilly. They might be
Well,
like,
you'd have an older
hold
gay
on.
couple who've been together
Hold it.
like 20 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
they'd
So
be
they
more-
screw the numbers.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Can you click on the detail there, or like how?
I
What was the percentile?
assume this is here. You got a breakdown of humanist associate. Ooh, that's a huge jump as well. Almost opposites of sex couples and all that. Yeah. Okay. There's a full breakdown of marriage rates in different countries. Wow, that's a lot of statistics. Cool.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's that discussion.
that's class.
Cool, huh?
Very good.
That's
I'm gonna look
Very
through this
good.
more. Like, we'll be going
There's
into
loads of
census
stuff. You
more.
could be talking about it
Sorry,
all day.
guys, we have 2 seasons of census,
Census
data.
up until 2020, and then we start with the 2020.
We'll be
21.
discussed next week. New purchases of farm machinery.
How many tractors are in Ireland?
New ones.
New ones. Can you find it?
I'm sure.
You should look
So-
up the ploughing championships from last week.
Oh yeah.
That's something I'd really like to go to, actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
Where is it? Go next year.
It's in Midland somewhere, Leash or yeah.
Oh yeah, it could be Leeds.
Apparently, it's Europe's biggest event.
Nah.
It is Europe's biggest event
Really?
In
for
Florida.
for agriculture and stuff like that.
That's huge.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Is it like similar to like Galway races? Like that's
No.
No.
But it's like, do people get drunk? Like,
Oh,
I'm sure
yeah,
they
I'm
do,
sure
but
they
it's
do,
very
yeah.
country sort of oriented.
Tullamore.
okay. Is it more like
Tullamore,
family
Tullamore,
oriented or just?
Yeah.
It's
But
family.
also it's farming business. It's
Yeah.
a livestock exhibition,
Yeah,
and
there's,
you'll have,
Oh.
there's everything at it.
That's-
everything.
that's where
is
you
at
buy
it.
your tractors.
Yeah.
That's class.
Yeah, it's an expo kind of thing. Attendance 291,000.
What?
That's last year. Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's even bigger this year now.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
They're just out ploughing a load of fields all day.
Guys,
farming.
We're
We
going,
have to go.
We're
I'd
going
love to
next
go to
year,
it.
man.
I think it'd be great
For
fun.
I think we should go to some little events and report maybe from those
Yeah,
events.
yeah,
or little
yeah.
insights. I don't know. Gaming convention. And then sit in the corner and record our impressions of gaming. Ploughing championships. I don't know. Census conference. Could be the most boring thing on the planet, but let's go
so.
anyway. Maybe let those little
So what do you think about foreigners in this country?
jobs and women. No, it should be jobs, women, and gay partners as well.
There you go. You've done
If you
inclusion.
want to be
Diversity
like
and inclusion, man.
Yeah,
Let's
there
be-
you go.
So,
Yeah.
but speaking of tech and machinery and whatnot, you had mentioned something. So
Yeah.
let's see what I did.
So I
there.
was thinking
Segue.
about this actually, right? So,
Yeah.
like, because it came up to me like in about like WhatsApp, and like how much you have been using before, like before WhatsApp or any kind of like smartphone, we have been always either calling or we have been using SMS, right?
Mhm.
Now texts were always very very expensive if you started to text with someone or
Okay,
like
yeah.
you start to be like going back and forth on like girl that you were into or like boy or whatever. And it's funny how technology actually got rid of all of this. But like, so let's say you are an operator, right? So your business model in 2008 was completely different to the business model in 2018, because now at that point you have been saying, okay, well, you know, when you are getting your bundle, you are super worried about having texts for free or like, I don't know, have 3,000 texts per month. And then in 2018, all you care about, you don't care about voice or text. You just want to have like 10 gigs of data, and you want to have the data as fast as possible.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is like before, let's say you have had the unlimited phone calls or whatever, it was very easy to get over that. And I know multiple people who went over and had to pay like hundreds of for their bills per month, right?
Yeah.
Because it says unlimited phone calls, but it's actually like, I don't know, 3,000 or whatever minutes, and people got out of it like very easily.
Yeah.
Suddenly your invoice comes in and it's like 500 euros.
I've seen that many times.
The freaking 2018, it's super hard to get over 10 gigs of data on your phone. Like average would be like
to
3
use
to 5
10 gigs.
to use 10 gigs.
Dude, I watch Netflix,
How many
YouTube
people-
on the go sometimes.
Like
when
I would like to see like
I'm the same. I'm the same.
how did it impact like the way operators get the money, whether their revenues, because of these technologies and because of this like social network and all of this and WhatsApp, how did it actually impact their revenues compared to like when you take every other aspect out?
Yeah.
Did it actually go down, or did they figure out some way of like, okay, well, it's actually fine for us? You know, like let's say they move their focus on like, okay, so we'll change the bundle and you'll be prompted to get a new phone faster, or we'll give you this instead of SMS, or like how did they make sure that they are keeping the same money inflow with the change of technology? You know, and you are looking at these things and you are like, oh fuck, like WhatsApp, right?
Yeah.
Then you start to look into like, oh fuck, Uber, right? What are others doing, like taxi drivers, hotels? When you look at Airbnb, right? So like Airbnb is illegal in a lot of countries now in Europe because they're taking all of the properties, right? Or people are just renting them out. And I was like interested in like how to, like whether you guys can also kind of like think about anything else like that was there and everybody was kind of like happy happy to accept the cost, and how the technology changed the way how we actually operate going like at this point, right?
It's so changed.
I
It's
would-
so different now.
I would honestly, I know that sounds weird, but if I get cheaper data, please get rid of those goddamn texts. I don't want those texts. I don't want those minutes. Do you know what's really funny? If I can get I pay 30, but they still give me a mix of calls and texts
Same
or
with
whatever.
me, sure. It's the
Fuck
same
off,
way.
man. Let me pay €15 for the amount of data that I'm using, half the plan, and I will gladly pay for the voice calls. Yeah. Isn't that weird? Like, isn't that really bizarre? Because I use so little of it, I will gladly pay my 10 cent, 8 cent per minute or whatever it is. No problem, because the very few times I'll pay for that service. If I send a text, I'll pay for that service too. But give me the data. Cheap.
Yeah.
But it's funny, isn't it? Like, it's how it's changed. But I think what's happening is a lot of what we do now, apart from the industry of convenience. Wait, what do you call the industry when that Airbnb? It's a
platform provider.
No, it's everything on demand. As in, need a house rather than booking a hotel or whatever. You just go online, boom, there's an Uber, there's an Airbnb
Subscription or
kind of is it
on demand?
On demand, is it? Yeah. But a lot of it is subscription now. So you have your Netflix, you have your Spotify, you have your even programs now like Adobe and stuff like that. You used to be able to buy
TV
like
and all that kind
all
of
of
stuff,
these things, all of it.
You're paying very low rates on these things. Like you're paying $7.50 for Netflix.
Yep.
Now TV's only a tenner a month.
Yeah.
Do you know they're keeping it pretty low? Do you know these
For
subscriptions
now.
for now? Yeah.
But it's Microsoft Office. Windows is going to become a subscription service.
Yeah, it's like 13 euros or something.
Yeah, and then you pay
for a year. For a year.
But it's crazy. But it's all changing.
Because I think that so let's say if you look at Spotify, right?
Yeah.
So before Spotify, I think that there was a huge problem with the downloads and torrents and all of this, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, well, we are probably not going to make as much money as you would be making out of CDs in the 90s. Mm-hmm. But why don't we just make a small amount of money and get it every month, and then those people can be using the services as much as they want, right?
In your hand,
and you have the same
quality.
with Netflix.
Yeah, and then you look at the breakdown of the tenner that you're paying on Spotify every month. Of where does that tenner go to? Then the artist has to get it, the service has to get it, Spotify have to get it, the record companies have to get it. So like, what are you really paying for now at the moment? I know it's the free music and stuff, but if you stop paying it, you just get cut off. You don't. It's enticing you to keep paying it all the time. This is their marketing strategy now.
Thank you. This is
that what you call it, the neurological marketing sense that you know what I mean. It's keeping pulling you in, and that's what they're doing. You know?
It was a smart switch from a business perspective, because like even film editing software or whatever, like the Adobe Premiere Pro and stuff like that. That's all subscription now, €69 a month, I think it is, or something like that. Granted, it's a professional level.
Anything.
Exactly.
They don't want you to have anything.
I might turn around and between us, let's say, okay, let's upgrade our video editing capabilities. Maybe we'll put together and actually pay €600 for a CD of a program we get to use for the next 20 years, But Adobe doesn't get anything from that apart from the initial payment, because they still have to release updates, driver updates, and all that kind of stuff. Online. Exactly. Yeah. So it makes way more sense that in 10 months I'll pay that €600, and then I'll pay another €600 on top of that for the second year and all that for your update. On the one hand, yes, I get up to date things, but it's a weird switch. Like, I can't just buy Microsoft Word for, I don't know, Office for €100 if you want the newest version. Nope, I pay my €13 a month.
But it kind of also like cancels the need for people to download shit, right? Because before you were like, oh, I'm not going to be paying for like cinema, or I'm not going to be paying, like before you knew like how much is Netflix, like for example. A guy that I know would be like going to, like, would be downloading stuff.
But then does not revert back to your phone company with your data? That if you're downloading stuff, you're using up your data. So then the phone company then are kind of going, okay, guys, so we'll give you the more data, but you have to pay more. So it's the vicious circle is really happening there. Do you know what I mean?
Was it WhatsApp who wanted to, like, they wanted to make it that you would have to pay for WhatsApp? Wasn't it a few years?
Oh, they wanted
a few years ago.
Only short, like when I say short time ago, 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
They wanted to make it subscription monthly.
Yeah.
But I think Facebook had bought them at that stage as well.
Yeah,
I was like,
they said,
you
no.
sell enough of our data, man. You should be happy.
Facebook is like, it's fine. It's just give us your telephone number. And then you're like, class. It's like now these days when you are filling up all of these forms, you're like, when they in early 2000s, someone asks you, it's like, what's your birth date? And you're like, it's like 13th of February, 1972, right? And my name is John carrot.
Yeah.
Now you just know that they know who you are. So you're just like, oh, fuck it. Just write my name and everything. It's just the same.
100%, man. I used to lie about everything. Everything fake. Everything was absolutely fake on the thing. But now it's kind of like, well,
now you just know.
I put it in once. That's it.
Yeah.
Done.
They just know.
And if they don't know, they'll buy it from Google.
Yeah, you just
or whatever.
You just connect your Gmail. Like you just connected your Gmail to your phone. Like
forget
everybody knows who you
Forget
are.
it now. Yeah. 100%.
Crazy.
So anyway, just as a little more statistic, I've just after pulling up the data usage on my PC here. Remember that I'm on this every weekend, not so much during the week, but I update all drivers, download some games, update those.
Watch Asian porn.
Watch.
Asian. No wonder you are running out of gigs.
And in that time, and watching a ton of Netflix and YouTube possibly at the same time. I might check something on YouTube and I pause the Netflix constantly. I'm at 25 gigs on a PC, by the way. So that's in the last 30 days. So how do people can't possibly? No. Unless you just stream from 24 hours a day.
I think like unlimited on Vodafone is like 300 gigs, and then after that you have like €1 for a mega that you are paying.
Oh yeah, 50 megs or something like that, which is an email.
It's honey, don't send an invite.
I mean, they do say unlimited, but there is fair usage. They have to cut it off at some stage, otherwise you'll hog the whole network or whatever, But man, you gotta be watching a lot of porn for that, man.
Yeah, like it would have to be
4K.
But that would have to be like for 300
needs to be there in front of you.
You would have to be watching like online TV 24/7.
You'd have to be watching virtual reality.
And probably mining Bitcoin.
Possibly, actually.
Still.
And downloading all the shows that you're not watching.
Yeah.
On Now TV or something.
Yeah. So that's pretty hardcore.
That's crazy.
Well, any parting...
I like this, like, quiet.
I'm just thinking of subscriptions that I should cut back on.
Yes, me too, actually, now that we've had this conversation.
Which ones?
There'll be a couple of subscriptions
gone now. What am I going to cut back on?
Which ones?
No, what have I got?
You have Netflix.
Netflix, and between my wife and I, we have Spotify, but because she's a student, we got this $4.99 a month.
Oh, yeah.
Keep that.
I have other subscriptions that are a bit more random, though. For example, Audible.
Oh, do you have an Audible?
Do you have Audible?
Oh, I love Audible.
Do you use it?
All the time.
I find it a bit too expensive, to be honest.
You see, but you are buying a highly produced... A novel can go for 42 hours. Yeah. That's a lot of value for money. And you have high production values.
So I've seen the ad for Stephen Fry. He's doing a lot of Audible stuff now at the
minute. I can download free, and they do podcasts and shows just for podcasts. Excuse me. Special recordings for Audible. So they're high value and high production shows that are just made for Audible.
How much is it a month?
It's expensive. Oh, a month?
It's like 10 or 15?
10 or something like that, and you get 3 credits, which is 3 books, 3 audiobooks. So it kind of depends. If you buy small novellas or something like that,
but then you have to pay for a specific book.
No, you get credits. You can pay for it, but they're like €24 because you have to pay so much author, studio, and all that. But or you can. What I did, and I had cancelled it. I think it's 70 something euro per year, and you get 13 credits. 12 or 13 and one books. Extra, so there's 13 books. But if you and I read a lot of sci-fi and fantasy, for example, and if each book is 30 hours long, multiply that by 13 in and around, and we got a good value in that sense, you know what I mean? But if I bought the book in the shop, what would I be paying for a book anyway? €12 or something like that, brand new. So it's one or the other.
Really, doesn't it?
But I thoroughly enjoy it, though. I have to say, I have to give Audible that.
What's your subscriptions then?
I usually pay. We have Spotify and Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
But I have Audible, but I'm not really using it, and I'm not paying for it yet. I don't think I have anything else, to be honest. I mean, the TV stuff that we are watching from Slovakia, like that's like there's like a DigiTV app also, so it's HD TV through
The app.
through internet, but it's like Slovak and Czech channels, which is going through like a normal satellite provider, and then they just create it and you pay, and then they give you a password. So it's like super easy to installation and all of that. That's mainly that's like 230 euros a year.
Okay.
But that's a good one because you have everything there, and everything is in either Czech or Slovak. Yeah. So that's about it. That's about it. Like I don't have that many subscriptions, to be honest.
I suppose you could get a load. I have. I don't conform to the masses. I have the Deezer streaming service on mine.
Oh yeah.
Which I do love, and then
we're on Deezer, by the way.
Yeah, we're on Deezer now.
We are on Deezer, yeah. Check it out.
I use Deezer. I don't know why I didn't kind of go to Spotify. I found it kind of, I looked into it at the beginning. I wasn't very interested in the layout of the easiness of the use of it, I think, at the beginning. And then I went, because on Virgin Media, there is a Deezer app on the TV. Yeah. So that's how I seen it first. So I started using that on the TV, and then I just downloaded it on my phone. Okay. And then I have Netflix as well. So that's about it, really. I don't have anything else.
That's not too
bad. Don't want anything else. I'm paying enough.
Yeah.
We're all paying enough.
It adds up. It adds up
in the end.
Yeah, like in the end. Like that's why I was like, I was thinking about Audible, and I was like really into it, but then I'm like, there's so much stuff that you can kind of like listen to for free, like podcasts and all of this.
See, but again,
I know that it's like a book,
that's the difference, exactly, because that podcast I listen to in lighter situations, like for example, when I'm getting my coffee in the morning and I pop on some podcasts, and then I'm just kind of waking up, but I'm listening either jokes or something that's actual or current or scientific or whatever it is. But then when I'm sitting on the bus and I need to kind of switch off fully, then a book that I would have read at home anyway, but I can't read on the bus, otherwise I'll barf on everyone. Then I can just sit there and enjoy my book through audio. But not everyone particularly likes it, you know.
Yeah. No, I like to listen. It's just.
But check it out anyway. If there's any books that you like or history.
€10 a month. I think it was 10 or 12. No,
it is.
Is it only a certain category of books that are being done in Audible, or is there everything?
Basically, what if the author decides to do a deal with a studio to record it, you'll have it on there. I'll check. I'll show you now. I don't know. I just found it very, very good. Again, it costs a lot because in one go, and it's usually, don't ask me why, but January or February, when money's kind of tight, and they're like, €70, ouch. But then look at what you're getting for it.
For the rest of the year.
But it's just, it's always that little bit of ouch, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think, sorry, but I don't know, where the hell are...
It looks like we have literally put the whole podcast into this Audible, and we are making an ad for them, but it's actually not.
Yeah, guys, we have nothing. We have nothing to do with. We're not affiliated at all, unless you want to sponsor us, Audible. Thank you. But Jeff, Bezos, looking at you, man.
It's Amazon. Oh, it's Amazon.
Yeah, they belong to Amazon. Yeah.
Oh shit. Oh. I like how Bezos like changed
here
since he was like.
That's
12 credits.
So 12 credits, £70, whatever, 75.
But you only have 1 credit per month,
and it's £8, so €9 a month for 1 credit, and then you have 2 credits a month, and then if you buy 24, which I didn't know, it's £109.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is an expensive luxury, but again,
something that you'd need to be constantly using if you're, when you're
100%
using it.
Yeah, like that's 100%. The thing. Like if you don't have time or.
I was very close to subscribing to the TuneIn app. Do you know the TuneIn?
TuneIn Radio.
Yeah, you can subscribe to that as well.
What do you get?
Oh, you get more. You would get concerts. I would be able to listen to the concerts straight out.
I thought it's just straight up online radio. We're on TuneIn, by the way.
But they've loads of other stuff on it too. We're on that as well.
Yeah.
Which I'm listening to and I love, so we can sponsor.
You should subscribe to Audible. You should get there. We should be there.
Yeah.
Because you can pick up the most randomest stuff.
All we need to do is just send an email to Jeff at Amazon.
That's it. So. Listen, if that guy can buy countries, which he surely will do soon, then... somebody had said to me, it's ridiculous how Elon Musk is trying to get us to Mars and the moon. He's going to send out that Japanese billionaire soon. And then
maybe they should send Conor McGregor.
Somebody said, like it's going to be a clash of the titans. Maybe they'll develop AI that'll fight each other or whatever. And I was like, no, they're not. They're going to do a partnership, yeah? Fucking Elon Musk is going to get us to Mars or moon. And Jeff Bezos is going to make sure that deliveries get out there, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? That's exactly
like groceries, like the next day after you order.
Yeah,
and on the moon.
Did you see that about Amazon? They did. I seen it on whatever social media that for the homeless people that are living in cities in America. So you could order stuff. I say they were talking to a homeless guy, like, what do you need? He goes, I'd love some socks and maybe a new pair of trainers or something. So you go online to Amazon, you put in the place that you're actually standing in where the person is homeless, wherever he's set up. You order online, you buy socks or whatever, and then within the next couple of hours, Amazon deliver to this lovely guy sitting on the sidewalk.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, because there's some places now or some test cities that have, like, if you order at 9 a.m. and you desperately need a hammer by 12 or something like that, they'll drop that off.
Courier cycle.
So how they do it is actually they keep the stuff on the vans. So like they know that where the biggest vessel is, like USBs, batteries, and all of this shit. They keep it there, so they call and you have it like within like a few hours.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
But with the whole Brexit thing coming in now, with you're ordering Amazon from the UK, then this will all change if the Brexit deal doesn't go through.
Because that's a separate country. It's not the EU
anymore.
Yeah,
things are going to change dramatically.
By the way, before Britain officially shoots itself in the foot, just to let you know that. How did I get onto super value? I was looking at Amazon same day delivery.
We're going to do a bit of online shopping.
If you go to Amazon and add before you go into amazon.co.uk, type in the word smile.amazon.co.uk. So despite Amazon's evilness on a lot of issues, or weirdness on a lot of issues, I didn't mean that, Jeff. Sorry. Sponsor us. You can actually pick a charity for every purchase that you make. They automatically.
All right.
So save that, and if you make an order through Amazon, they'll actually sponsor or donate to a charity, which is really cool.
Cool. That's fantastic. Yeah, that's good.
That's a good tip, folks. And you can choose your charity, and if you shop a lot, they will put money towards it. It's not even coming out of your purchase. Like add 1 cent for whatever. They actually pay for it.
Oh, all right.
They do it, yep. They add the 10 pence or cents or whatever it is. Yeah,
Class.
It's very good. Discovered that recently. So, folks, we've actually ploughed through a longer time,
which is good,
than expected.
Yeah.
All right, so it's nice to be back in full effect. Any parting words to our folks, or anything that we?
Hope you enjoyed listening to us today, and thank you very much for tuning in. I've been so excited to be part of this today, and thank you from me as well to be listening to you lovely guys talk. So that's it from me.
Thank you, and bless you, my children.
Okay, maybe next episode, I don't know. That might be a phrase.
Hashtag bless you, my children.
Oh God. Okay.
You managed to listen to the Rum Boys talk on Random Urban Memories. Just like and subscribe where you can on all platforms.